Have you ever sat in a dark room and watched dust motes dancing in a sliver of sunlight? They don't move in straight lines, they jitter. They zig, then zag, seemingly for no reason at all. There is no wind in the room, no fan, yet they are in a state of constant frantic motion. In physics, we call this Brownian motion. It's the random erratic movement of particles resulting from their constant collision with the fast-moving molecules in the fluid around them. To the naked eye, it looks like chaos. But in that chaos, there is a vital lesson for anyone building a gamified system for humans. Welcome to Physics of Gamification. I am Hakan Uzer, co-founder of Motivacraft. Today we are talking about why your perfectly optimized system might actually be boring your users to death, and why you need to inject a little bit of jitter to keep the soul of your experience alive. Let's talk about the straight line trap. Most engagement designers are obsessed with optimization. We want the user to go from point A to point B with zero friction. And that obsession is quietly stripping systems of anything that feels human. Because here is the physics violation. Total predictability leads to thermodynamic equilibrium. In physics, that's when energy stops flowing. In a gamified system, that's a plateau. Not a failure, something even worse. A system that still works, but no longer matters. If a user knows exactly what's going to happen every single time they log in, the same rewards, the same pop-ups, the same sequence, their brain eventually treats that information as background noise. The system stops being an experience and starts becoming a chore. In 1827, a botanist named Robert Brown looked through a microscope at pollen grains suspended in water. He expected them to sit still. Instead, they were jittering. Later, Albert Einstein proved that these grains were being pushed by the water molecules hitting them from all sides. To keep users suspended and active, you need collisions. Not constant noise, not surprise for its own sake, but small, uneven forces that prevent settling. In gamification design, your users are the pollen grains. If the fluid, the environment you have built, is static, your users settle to the bottom. So, how do you apply this without breaking your product? You don't create a hurricane, you create a jitter. Think about your reward structures. If a user gets exactly 10 points every Tuesday for a check-in, that's static particle. But what if occasionally that reward jittered? And here is the important part. If that jitter becomes predictable, it stops working again. Randomness that repeats is just another pattern that brain learns to ignore. You need missions that pop up unexpectedly, tasks that have nothing to do with their main KPI but everything to do with exploration. These collusions force the brain to re-evaluate. That split second of curiosity is the difference between a user who is processed and a user who is engaged. I once worked with a customer service team. Their system was a masterclass in linear design. Log in, answer tickets, get points. After just 3 months, the soul had gone cold. Performance was fine on paper, but attrition risk was rising, and managers could feel something slipping that no dashboard was able to track. We immediately introduced a Brownian jitter. We added a secret objective that appeared randomly. It wasn't about speed. One week it was find the most creative way to use a GIF. Another was a fun fact challenge. These missions didn't pay out huge bonuses. That was the point. They weren't incentives, they were interruptions to autopilot. By adding a little unpredictability, we made the system feel alive again. Now, a warning. Physics is neutral. If the jitter prevents the user from reaching their core goal, you haven't created engagement. You have created distrust. Brownian motion only works because the particles are suspended in the fluid, not blocked by it. Your core UX must remain rock solid. The chaos should happen around the path, providing small moments of surprise, Easter eggs, or just because recognition. Look at your most linear path today. It's probably a straight line. Where can you add a collision? Where can you introduce a variable that isn't earned through a grind but is simply encountered? Humans aren't machines. We aren't designed to live in a world of perfect, frictionless lines. We want to dance in the sunbeam. Give your users permission to deviate without punishing them for it. Next time, we are going beneath the surface to look at latent heat. We'll explore the motivation you can't see. The energy users carry quietly right before they either transform or disengage. Until then, keep the loops tight, the progress real, and don't be afraid of a little chaos. Keep designing like a physicist. See you next time.